This is AM 1220, KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.
Well, Oklahoma City, it is that time. It is 9 o'clock, and it is time for the Clara Luper Show, here at your number one gospel radio station, KTLV, AM 1220.
I want to go back to Bob, Georgia. Can I do that?
In a moment, your host, Sister Clara Luper.
Miss Annie Mae.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy good morning to you, wherever you are. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and I would like to start my show today by saying Oklahoma City has a new police chief. His name is M.T. Berry. This is the Clara Luper radio show. Today we are shouting all over Oklahoma City because finally, after the years and years and years, we have a police chief. Born in Eufaula, Oklahoma, graduating from Douglas High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. For 27 years, he's been with the police department. 27 years. And we will be giving you just a bit each time by M.T. Berry. And congratulations to Mr. Berry. Congratulations to the Berry family. And we are certainly happy. We invite you to invite your friends to visit with us today because we do have some outstanding news for you. Our head news story today is that Oklahoma City has a black police chief. Oh, right. Who would have believed? And I have so much to thank God for today because he has allowed me to live to see my city pull off the shackles of the past and move into the future. And I'm going to tell you what this will mean to all of us. This portion of our program is brought to you by your independent Allstate insurance agent, Marilyn Hildreth. And if it's insurance that you need, call Marilyn. It could be home insurance, automobile insurance, or life insurance. Call Marilyn. The telephone number is 843-0811. Your insurance agent. Last week, Mr. Gates told you that his church, the Tabitha Baptist Church, had grown under the leadership of his pastor, Reverend Jeff Mitchell. And he told you they had gained 600 members. Now, many of you have called me and you told me you didn't believe the story. Well, don't call me. Call Mr. Gates. I didn't say it. 424-1758. And Mr. Gates wants you to know that he knows what he's talking about. He's a deacon at his church, and he knows that since Reverend Mitchell has been there, they've taken in 600 members. And Mr. Gates will be calling us today to tell us about that celebration tomorrow. It's time now to do your weekend shopping and go to Hometown, 2001 Northeast 23rd or 23rd and Martin Luther King. Go there because they have some bargains and they have a beef specialist. Go to Hometown today. Dr. A.L. Dial would like to send his congratulations to Mr. B.T. Berry, the new police chief. Dr. Dial says that Mr. Berry is part of what the fight is all about in the struggle for equal opportunities, for equal promotions. Dr. A.L. Dial is located at 924 Northeast 8th Street in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 2350536. Now call for an appointment because maybe your child is not doing as well in school as you would think. Don't you worry one bit. Just call Dr. A.L. Dial. Come one, come all for delicious dinners today. There will be a catfish dinner, a taco dinner, a chicken dinner, and a chitlin dinner at Freedom Center. If you notice, we've been working hard putting a roof on, and we know that you're going to help us. Not only that, you're going to see to it that your NACP Youth Council members are represented at the regional conference next week in Little Rock, Arkansas. I call upon all of you to drop by Freedom Center today. Bring your aluminum cans. bring your dollars. Give $1 and help a child, because we have some 20 young people that want to participate in that educational and motivational workshop. And in that historical meeting in Little Rock, Arkansas, our children will have an opportunity to go to a reception that's given in honor of Mrs. Daisy Bates and some more outstanding things. I want you to help, and I need to know if you are on our side. If you are on our side, come on up and buy a catfish dinner, a taco dinner, a chicken dinner, and a chitlin dinner. Mrs. Bosie Walker, who's over the chitlin dinner, says that even though she might not be there when you arrive up there, she wants you to come up there and get some good old chitlins. Mrs. Oh, I could go over, but anyway, catfish and all of the dinners are $5. And those of you that don't have $5, you can give a penny or a nickel. And those of you that would like to do something very special, come up there and look and see exactly what we have. Speaking of looking, we want you to look at Johnson Shardina's Daycare, 1643 Northeast 50th Street. We want you to look at the equipment, the playground equipment, the equipment within the nursery or the daycare center. We want you to look at the library. We want you to know that Mrs. Gloria Matthews and her staff are preparing these young people to take their place in the mainstream of American life. As Johnson Shardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street, they will pick up your children and they will deliver them. And you can go to Johnson Shardina's, number 2 at 2611 North Martin Luther King, 427-5274 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. When you think of furniture, think of Discount Carpet and Furniture, located at 501 Northwest 23rd Street. The telephone number is 525-6700. Discount Carpet and Furniture, 501 Northwest 23rd Street in Oklahoma City. Today we are to have a special. I saw Wallace Johnson, and Wallace told me that he will be here today, and this will make a difference in our program. Gideon 300 store is located at 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City, and they have a lot of new stock in just from the coast of Africa. Gideon 300 store, 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want you to go out there. I want you to look at the beautiful clothes. Talking about Black history, talking about African American history. Go out to Gideon's 300 store, 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Calvin, I know you want to send your congratulations to our police chief.
Not only do I want to send my congratulations, I really would like to take my congratulations, because I'm extremely proud of the fact that a Douglas High School, that's Douglas there on Martin Luther King Avenue, graduate has made it to the top of his field here in Oklahoma, in Oklahoma City. We're extremely proud of it. But one thing about Brother Berry, he's already been through the fire. He's been tested before as a chief, as a temporary chief. But then I know one thing about him. He loves the police work. He loves the police force. But most importantly, he loves the citizens of Oklahoma City. And I'm looking forward to him doing an outstanding job. You know, we were talking on the way out here about, will crime go down on the east side because we have a black police chief?
Not on the east side, but the west side and the south side, because he's tough.
He's tough now. And those of you out there think that because you got a black down there that things are going to really get easier, forget that, because I think the bottom line is that if you do right, you'll be treated right. But if you do wrong, you can expect the wrong to come back to you. But congratulations, Brother M.T. Berry. We're looking forward to working with you, not only this year, but for the next 15, 20 years. Oklahoma City is my city. I'm just so happy just to be a citizen here, even though my taxes may change, go up and down. But it's good to see the growth that is happening in our city. It's good to see the progressiveness that is happening in our city. And I'm looking forward to, Mom, to later on this morning when I can go up to Freedom Center and enjoy some of that great catfish, some of that delicious chicken that the NACP Youth Council members will be preparing. And we'll have from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. And, you know, That's really fantastic, but I'm looking forward to that. So I have so many reasons to be happy this morning, and I know you do too, because I know you had a hectic week, but we'll get into that later on in the show. And then plus, we're also fortunate enough to have back over on the control our good friend Loretta. You know, we missed her for months, and she finally made it back in with a pleasing smile. So, you know, this is a great day here at KTLV, and we invite you to be a part of today's show by calling that friend, call that neighbor, and you make sure that they listen to this, the best show on the radio. 1220. 672-1220 is the phone number to call.
Calvin, you talked about Douglas High School and
Oh,
the fact that M.T. Berry was a graduate of Douglas High School. Don't forget, he started his law enforcement career with the Oklahoma City Police Department as a community service officer in 1970. He went to Oklahoma State University Technical Institute, and then he went to Langston University.
LU.
He went and graduated from Central State University, now the University of Central Oklahoma. And at Central State University, he was named the Outstanding Criminal Justice Student. Since 1970, however, Berry has worked in the jail, in the records office, as public information officer, as a patrol officer, and as a detective in internal security, now known as internal affairs. He has served as a deputy chief. Berry was one of the 30 applicants for the position. Out of 30, M.T. Berry made it. And those of you who would like to congratulate M.T. Berry, certainly we will give you that opportunity today. This portion of our program is brought to you by Exotic Florists, and certainly flowers must come. 3620 North Lincoln Boulevard. You want some flowers? Let the Bennetts do it. Exotic Florists, 3620 North Lincoln Boulevard in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Javon Bowie has asked me to ask you to come by her new style shop, located at 4801 North Lincoln. She says drop-ins are welcome. The telephone number is 521-9307. Leo's Barbecue, operated by that Barbecue Charlie, 4th and Harrison in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You can call Leo and you can call Leo's and Charlie, Barbecue Charlie, who gives you that, that Southern hospitality service. Well, the telephone number is 236-5367. That's Leo's Barbecue. The question around America now is, what will the Baptists do now? The Baptist leader of the most powerful Baptist group in America was arrested and indicted. They say he's guilty of racketeering and theft. The leader of the nation's largest black denomination was charged this week, accused of giving church money to his wife, his daughter, and a secretary. Reverend Henry L. Lowndes, president of the 8.5 million member National Baptist Convention, USA, was charged with a count of racketeering and 2 counts of theft. State prosecutors accused Reverend Lowndes in engaging in a systematic scheme to steal at least $330,000 from several corporations and organizations. They had an 88-page affidavit against Reverend Lowndes and Mrs. Edwards. And incidentally, on Wednesday, Bernice Edwards, a former convention worker and a convicted embezzler, who, as they say, was with Reverend Lowndes, was arrested in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on a warrant out of Florida. Now, Reverend Lowndes is the president of the National Baptist Convention, USA, with, according to evidence, over 8 million members. Now, he's also the pastor of the Bethel Metropolitan Baptist Church in St. Petersburg, Florida. Not only that, the question is, what will the Baptists do? If you can remember last year in Denver, Colorado, Reverend Caesar A.W. Clark, who is pastor of the Good Street Baptist Church, was one of the leaders that attempted at that convention to get Reverend Lowndes to step aside. The fight was also carried by that well-known Reverend Amos Brown, who's pastor of the Third Baptist Church of San Francisco, California. They failed. But the question now is, what will the Baptists do now? That's the big question. That answer can only be given by the Baptists themselves. Clara Luper saying, I don't make the news, I just report it. Copying from Abram Ross. The inspirational expression is located at 912 West Britain Road, and you may go by and they will take care of you. The Beauty Inn, 1138 Northeast 36th Street in the Northeast Shopping Center. The telephone there is 557-0119, and you can call for Eugene, and Eugene will take care of you. He will take $5 off on chemicals. He will take $3 off on clipper cuts, $5 off on freezes, and finger waves. Be sure and contact Beauty Inn, 1138 Northeast 36th Street with Eugene. I have so many people to talk about today, and I would like to thank all of you for what you've done for me during the month of February. I've had the opportunities to speak in many churches, many schools, and many detention centers, and I would like to just thank all of you. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I feel that there were others that could have done a better job than me, but I want you to know that I appreciate it. And as a continuation of Black History today, and yesterday and the day before, I've always tried to say to you that Black history is around you. And certainly on last Saturday at 1 o'clock, I had the opportunity to be with Letty Ruth Hunter on This Is Your Day, as a crowd came into Days Inn to celebrate Letty Ruth Hunter's birthday. I was very proud of Merlin Hildred, who served as the mistress of the ceremony, of Elnora Douglas, little Nigel David, the Reverend Harold Davis, Letty's pastor. The essay that was written in honor of Letty Ruth Hunter by Nete Patterson, and then Mike Brown did I Believe I Can Fly. The dinner was delicious. The reflections by Dr. Cabana Clark, Mrs. Thelma Parks, Alice Strain, Gloria Matthews, Alma Washington, Nancy Davis, Reverend Williams, Mrs. Hall, and all of them. They were just wonderful, and I especially enjoyed Mr. Charles L. Henry as he spoke, and the benediction by Reverend W.B. Parker was certainly uplifting. Congratulations and happy birthday again to you, Letty Ruth Hunter. What is Black history? It's the story of Black and white history. You cannot separate Black history from white history. Talk about John F. Kennedy, if you please. You cannot talk about John F. Kennedy without talking about Martin Luther King, who was in the Birmingham jail. One that John F. Kennedy called changing the votes of the people, those blacks in New York, in Harlem, and in Philadelphia. And John F. Kennedy was elected with the smallest number of popular votes than any president. But it was enough to elect him president. Talk about Barbara Jordan, our representative that represented Texas and all of us so well. But you cannot talk about her without talking about Lyndon Johnson, who gave her that opportunity to appear before a group. So Black history is white history. My job has been to bring about a better understanding of what Black history is all about. Talk about Jackie Robinson, if you please. But you've got to talk about that white man that gave him the chance. Call him up and say, Jackie, I know it's going to be tough, but I want you to hang in there anyhow. And speaking of Black history, A few weeks ago, I told you what had happened at Bishop McGuinness High School. But I must tell you that Bishop High School had one of the greatest celebrations for black history that you would ever want to see. Christina Craft, the Millwood High School Choir, Tamika Cooksey, that's sketched by the Museum of African American Heritage, that guest appearance by Hosea Rogers, and then that tribute to music by that Bishop McGuinness High School students was just outstanding. I was really impressed with those young people, and just to think that there were a group, 4 young ladies, decided that they were going to do something about black history, and the principal was so proud. Mr. Parsons said congratulations to Christina Craft, Diane Davis, Lana Thompson, and Cicea Fowler, because they made it possible and black and white students participated together. We cannot say too much about Douglas High School and their celebration of Black History Month. We cannot say too much about that Douglas High School choir under Mr. Calvin. We cannot say too much about Mr. Francisco and his committee that presented the program, and the address by Mrs. Thelma Parks and Senator Munson. All we need to talk about Douglas High School and the fine poem that was read by a young man telling what black people have done. It was an outstanding program, and naturally I thank the young people for inviting me to be a part of that program. Congratulations to Douglas High School. We are proud of you. Not only that, but at Douglas High School, I had the opportunity to hear the Spencer Choir. And let me tell you something. That Spencer Choir is a choir that Oklahoma City is going to have to take notice to. That choir is directed by a young Phi Beta Sigma man. Oh, it is something. I'm going to tell you more about it. I can't tell it all now because I just can't tell it all. I know what Miss Leola Ford said. Miss Leola Ford said, that choir, oh, that choir. Congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to those of you that can lift out of the pages of sleeping history the songs of our forefathers. Next week, the NACP Youth Council members and delegates will be in Little Rock, Arkansas, where they will be participating in a new level of thinking by blacks. And certainly, when we think of Police Chief Berry, we got to have a new level of thinking. We've got to think that if we prepare ourselves and be ready, you got to prepare yourself. The day will come, and certainly this is a bright day for all of us. What is black history about? It's a story of people. Sometimes the stories are written in books. Sometimes it's just a dot on a map. And then sometimes it's a river or it's a photo. And today I'm going to tell you about 2 blacks. Oh, I could tell you about those blacks that made discoveries in American history. I could tell you about the first blacks in many fields. Oh, I can tell you about Clifton Wharton, who was sworn in 1961 as an ambassador to Norway. I could tell you about the first black federal judge, William H. Hastie. Oh, I could tell you about blacks. I could tell you about the first blacks to appear in films, Off to Bloomingdale Asylum in 1902, a French film. I could tell you about Lena Horne, but I'm not. Rather, to me, history is about those people that have not made the headlines, yet they have changed the course of history. So follow me today. Follow me today to Altus, Oklahoma, where a baby was born. His name was DeWitt Rowland. His father was a preacher, Reverend Jerry Rowland. Then followed the family to Douglas High School, where DeWitt Rowland graduated from. Then if you would go with me into the United States Navy, where DeWitt Rowland served his country for 3 years. And then he went to work at Tinker Air Force Base for 20 years. Oh, I could tell you about the love affair of DeWitt Rowland. DeWitt married Velma Preston, and there were 4 sons were born. And after her death, he married Eula Mae Sutton in 1956. 3 other children were born. But the DeWitt Rowland that I want to tell you about was the pastor of the St. Luke's Baptist Church in Spencer, Oklahoma. He served there faithfully. And finally, after retiring, he became the pastor emeritus. But let's look at his history. Let's look at what he was able to do. Reverend Rowland held offices in many religious organizations. He was the 3rd vice president of the Oklahoma Baptist State Convention, the executive secretary of the Baptist Ministers Association of Oklahoma City, professor and director of the Oklahoma City Branch School of Religion, training many other ministers. He was an instructor in the youth department of the National Baptist Convention, was a former dean and president of the East Zion District Congress of Christian Education. What achievements. Then DeWitt Rowland, believing in education with a passion, received a degree, a BA degree in religion from Oklahoma Baptist University. That was not enough. He went on to receive a Master's of Religious Education degree from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. And probably the happiest day of his life was the day that he received his doctorate of ministerial degree in marriage and family from the Eastern Baptist Theological Seminary. What an achievement. What history. But let me tell you what he did at St. Luke. He established a dozen different ministries: radio ministry, prison ministry, outreach ministry, bus ministry, the World's Concerned Mission Ministry, the Northeast Concerned Christian Housing Ministry, the Northeast Concerned Christian Credit Union, and then he had a mobile meal ministry and the St. Luke's Christian Academy. Yes, that's Black history. And certainly, Calvin, what did you think of my story?
I truly enjoyed the story, and we had a couple of calls while you were doing the story, but I enjoyed it because it's a Black history that we can relate to. You know, some history you read about and say, oh, I can't imagine that happening. But then this is a history that we know about. This is a history that we can reach out and touch, and that really brings it to life. But that's the good part about listening to the Clara Luper radio show. You're going to find out something. You're going to get inspired, and that's why we want everyone to tell that friend, tell that neighbor to be a part of the show. And you can call in and register your comments also. But that is great, and I'm looking forward to more Black history coming from here at KTLV.
Tomorrow at the 5th Street Baptist Church, you are invited to attend services there at 11 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, the minister for tomorrow will be Reverend Wise, who is the pastor of the Evangelistic Missionary Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas. He believes, and he has studied that, and not only that, he has taught that. He was part of the Baptist World's Men's Alliance at the Golden State Baptist Church, where he preached on evangelism. He was born in Terrell, Texas, and he has received all kind of honors, and one special honor was the honor that was presented to him by the National Cancer Society Award. That's Reverend Tony F. Wise, the pastor of the Evangelistic Missionary Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas. He will be preaching at Fifth Street Baptist Church tomorrow morning at exactly 11 o'clock. Yes, Calvin.
Mom, you know you're bragging on Fifth Street Baptist Church, but there's a big event happening at another church. And one of our favorite deacon has called. He's on the line. He wants to let the people know what's happening at his church, too.
Who is that deacon?
That's none other than the honorable, the distinguished, the motivating, the best barber in the entire state of Oklahoma, Deacon Robert Gates. How are you doing this morning, Brother Gates?
I'm doing fine, Brother Luper. How are you?
Fantastic.
Great.
Tell us about what's happening. You just heard Mom bragging a little bit.
No, I was not bragging. I was just reporting the news,
Just
Calvin.
reporting the news.
Because if I wanted to brag, I could certainly brag.
Okay.
But I wouldn't.
Well, we won't argue there. But what is happening there in your area, Deacon, Brother, friendly, outstanding Barbara Gates?
Well, Brother Luper, on tomorrow afternoon we'll be you got me confused now. On tomorrow afternoon at 3:30, we will be winding up on our pastor's anniversary. Fairview Baptist Church will be there. Central Baptist Church Channel will be there. Greater Bethel Baptist Church will be there. Greater Trinity Baptist Church will be there. And New Covenant Baptist Church will be there. And these ministers are Reverend J. Reed Jr., Reverend James Reed, Reverend Theron Gaddis, Reverend Charles Douglas, and Reverend J. O. Breckford. And I'd like to say to you right now, on last night, it kicked off with a great spirit with the Dr. Roseburg, with let's see, what's his name? Dr. Roseburg, Dr. Ricky Patton, and the minister for the evening was Brother Woodbury. And there were some other churches. And he set our souls on fire, and the church was packed.
What did Reverend Woodbury preach about last night?
He preached about the preacher.
The preacher? What did he say about the preacher?
He said a lot of good things about the preacher. That was encouraging. I can't get into all what he said, but it was well said and to the point, Miss Luper. You just should have been there.
Mr. Deacon,
Yes.
Deacon Gates,
Yes,
people have called me this week and say they didn't believe what you were saying, that your church had brought in 600 members in 6 years under the pastorate of Reverend Jeff Mitchell.
Well, Sister Lupe, I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
They didn't believe Christ either, did they? They didn't believe that he was who he said he was. But I'm telling you, people have to see to believe. Now, the only way that I can convince you that this has been done, just come by on any given Sunday. Anytime you can get as many as 150 to 200 prayer meetings, something is going on.
Now, here you go again, Mr. Gates.
I'm
you got 150 people at prayer
I'm
meeting
telling
on
you
Wednesday night.
I'm telling you just like it is.
Okay. Okay, well,
but-
I believe you.
Well, believe
Because
me.
I've been out there. I believe you, but I wanted to make sure that my radio audience understood you.
Well, those that doesn't believe have to call me, and I'll take them down there and see.
What is your telephone number?
424-1758.
Okay, and you will tell them that you belong to a church that have taken in 600 members.
I will stand flat-footed like Jesus did, and when he beat those people out of that church for stealing that money, I tell them just like he did. Yes, we have.
Okay, Mr. Gates, not only are you very active in your church, but you're one of the advisors of the NACP Youth Council.
That's right.
And what's going on up there today? I know it's starting now.
Well, we're having chitlin dinners today, chicken and fish, and we're inviting everyone who would like to come by and give us a donation and eat a delicious meal. Be glad to have you.
I know you've been very proud of the workers that have been working at Freedom Center.
Oh, yes, I have, Miss Luper. They have just did a beautiful job, and I thank the community for what they have done for taking hold and helping feeding these people. And they're just marvelous. You just need to meet them, and they are like I said, they've made a mistake, but everybody in the world have made some type of mistake, so you can't hold that against them. They are still someone's child. I know if mine was incarcerated or whatever, I'd like for somebody to be nice to them. And I want to leave this with you, too, Miss Lupe, because I have a house full of people. I just want to say this to you and the community. Jesus cleansed the meaning of greatness when he said, "The greatest among you shall be the servant of all." No longer is the man great who has a great number of servants, but the man is great who serves the greatest number. And I've got to go.
Okay, he has to go, but remember that program starts tomorrow at what time?
3:30.
At 3:30.
Yeah.
All
Looking
right.
forward to that.
If there's any way possible, I'd like to see your face too.
Okay, well, thank you so very
Hey,
much.
that goes out to everyone that's listening today.
That's right.
That's
Okay,
right.
I don't.
Thank you,
you
Brother
have
Gates.
to go early to get a seat.
That's right.
You might have to, well, you can't help but go early because all those groups coming there. But that promises to be exciting. Just to be in the foyer might be a good place to
Calvin,
be,
the
too.
deacon might have us a seat reserved if we are running late.
no.
Just come on later. I'll see that you get in the church. Okay.
The
Okay.
deacon may have clout, but I don't think he can stop the crowd from seeing.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Gates, for being a part of this, the Clara Luper Radio Show, live and in living color. This beautiful Saturday morning that we've been blessed with. But, another part of our program that I truly enjoy, a lot of other people enjoy too, is the sports, Mom. And we have one of the best sports reporters in this entire country. A young man that's a student at Star Spencer High School, a member of the Star Spencer Band, a member of the Star Spencer track team. Is just a member of the Oklahoma City NACP
And
Youth Council.
I know he's having state president.
State president of the NACP Youth Group.
Okay, let's present
None
him. I
other
wanna
than
hear.
Brian. Hello. Good morning. How you doing? Am I talking about the right person?
You talking about me?
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Brandon
Brandon
Bryant.
Brandon Bryant.
That's what it is.
Okay. Well, welcome again to this show. Tell us about it.
Well, in college basketball, OU put up a good fight, but Paul Pierce's 31 points was too much because Kansas went on to beat OU 83-70. However, OSU whooped Texas 80-58 in Stillwater. Nebraska beat Texas Tech 82-65. Number 1 Duke defeated Georgia Tech 76-53. Third-ranked North Carolina spanked Wake Forest 72-53. Michigan defeated Penn State 77-61. 12th-ranked Arkansas was defeated by 13th-ranked Mississippi 81-65. In the NBA, Orlando used some of its magic on the Mavericks as they whooped Dallas 100-79. Glenn Rice scored 33 points as the Hornets whooped the Pistons 98-88. The Spurs just have too much firepower because they head off the Timberwolves 105-99. Allen Henderson almost went perfect from the field. He went 10 of 11 as the Hawks beat the Nuggets 112-88. And Golden State finally whooped someone since they lost Sprewell. They whooped the Knicks 87-82. And Chris Webber scored 36 points as the Wizards beat the Rockets 124-112. In tennis, the Williams sisters have been whooping up everyone since they have played in the IGA tournament. In women's college basketball, Teresa Jones of East Central became the most valuable player, and she also led Division II in scoring and rebounding with 27 points a game and 9.5 rebounds. In other sports news, Anton Jameson, Rafe LaFrance, and Mike Bibby head the list of finalists for the 1998 Naismith Player of the Year award. Keith Byers, one of the greatest receiving backs in the NFL history, signed with Bill Parcells and the New York Jets. So once again, this is Brandon Bryant, bringing all you folks out there in Radio Land, your Saturday morning sports page on the Clara Luper Radio Show. Yo, 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 yo.
Thank you, Brian. What is black history anyway? It's the story of people, their dreams, their aspirations. And today, as part of my Black History program, I would like to tell you about an extraordinary lady, an outstanding citizen, a sincere friend, a good and decent human being. This lady is a retired Oklahoma City Public Schools kindergarten specialist, educated at the University of Denver in Central Oklahoma, who for 45 years guided and cared for kindergartners in a most extraordinary way. In addition to the enhancement and enrichment of their learning and well-being, she was a ray of sunshine in their lives in causing these students to dream impossible dreams, dreams that would become realities. Let me give you an example. In 1946, she started a toy lending library for dolls and other playthings in her school. A concert arising from a show and tell activity following Christmas recess, at which time she became concerned when many of her children were only able to receive gifts of food and clothing. Her name, Freddie Mae Stevens. She solicited help, excuse me, from local merchants who donated or sold her dolls and other playthings. She painted some of the exclusive all-white dolls, an array of colors, more easily identifiable with her students. In a very short time, many other city schools followed her lead and set up similar libraries with her help and guidance. Freddie Stevens managed not only her school's library, but did repair work with the help of her mother, Anna Yates, for all of the other libraries. One summer, she perfected this skill by attending a special school for doll making in Denver, Colorado. In the spring of 1948, these endeavors received worldwide attention and recognition because there was an article published in a national magazine about Freddie Mae Stevens. This came about as a result of one of the magazine's editor's train trips, which came through Oklahoma City. As he neared the city, he became intrigued by an article he was reading in the daily newspaper concerning a teacher named Freddie Mae Stevens, who had set up a toy lending library in her school. He departed the train in Oklahoma City and set out to locate Mrs. Stevens, which was accomplished with the help of the Oklahoma City Board of Education. He then visited her school, took pictures, and published a lengthy article in the next issue of his magazine. What happened subsequently to the publishing of the article was unbelievable. Mrs. Stevens began receiving dolls and playthings from all over the world. What do you think about that, Calvin?
Oh, Mom, I think that that's a great beginning for Mrs. Stevens, but I know as the story goes, it gets better because she has a collection of dolls that is outstanding. But the way it got started is such a small incident has grown to be what is truly a very, very special exhibit. And I look forward to one day her having that exhibit there at the Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King.
Not only that, Calvin, Mrs. Stevens felt the heartbeat of the young people that were in line for soup, and she provided food for those kids. She set up a doll factory along with her mother, Mrs. Anna Yates, in her home, creating and distributing these dolls throughout the local market. At first, the only store to carry these dolls was a black-owned drugstore. Soon there was as many as 10 other retailers marketing her product. This became a lucrative and thriving business for Mrs. Stevens. But she continued to pass a particular soup kitchen on her way to school, and there she was able to provide money for additional soup. I need not tell you about Freddie Mae Stevens' involvement in civic and social organization, a member of a member of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority. I could tell you about her activities in many civic and social causes that have happened over the years. I could tell you about her scholarship program to Miss Merry Christmas. And it's no secret that every year she gives $500 to help support the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. She supports the NACP Youth Organization, and she serves as Santa Claus at many affairs. Lady Santa Claus. We call her Miss Santa Claus. Not only that, she's involved deeply in her church and community. A member of the Avery Chapel AME Church. She started out very early and became a full-fledged member at the age of 8. Mrs. Stevens gives generously to this church, buying the furniture for for an office when it moved to the new site Yes, she has donated choir robes for the juniors as well as a scheme table for the church's dining room. Oh, I need not tell you about her support of the McFarland branch of the YWCA, being a blue ribbon donor. Yes, that's a project that was conceived by Thelma Reese Park. An outstanding lady, an outstanding citizen, a sincere friend, a good and decent human being. It's not surprising that her picture's on the wall at the Black History Monument. We salute Black history, and in saluting Black history, we salute Mrs. Freddie Stevens.
Oh, that's good, Mom. That's great.
Cal,
That is
there are
outstanding.
two other things that I've got to tell you about.
Before you tell me about that, I've been sitting here and I was listening to that, and I almost forgot that we have a caller on the line that is anxious to talk with us, and we're anxious to talk with her. And, we saw her last week. Last time I saw her, she was in a beautiful blue dress and was there at her birthday celebration with friends from all across the state and the nation there helping her to celebrate. So we have Mrs. Hunter on the line here, and I want to say happy week after that beautiful celebration, Mrs. Hunter, and good morning and welcome to the Clara Luper Radio Show here on the KTLV.
Good morning, Calvin, and good morning to Clara Luper also, and good morning to the radio audience. My, what a beautiful day, and I know we are just so happy that the sun is shining and we have a beautiful day. But I want to add to what Mrs. Luper said earlier in the program about my birthday party that was held on February the 21st. Now, first, I want to give thanks to a friend of mine who I can always depend on. When I want some help, I have one person that I can always go by. And, I'm always in a hurry, but they'll stop and help you. But so I want to thank that person that's always in a hurry, that has time to stop out and give me some help. And that was none other than Clara Luper, in case you don't know who I'm talking about, Calvin. But I want to thank Mrs. Luper for reading all of the names that was on the program. If there were any left off, it really wasn't anything that we had. It was just an oversight of the printer. He just missing the name. And I want to apologize for that. And I want to thank those who got up and gave reflections. And not only that, I want to thank those who participated on the program. And I want to thank those who had a part in making the program a success. And, Calvin, I want to thank you for being there for taking pictures. So, see, you're going to get some thanks, too. And I want to, above all, I want to thank the person who was responsible for sponsoring the program. I want to thank his team, and I want to thank him, and I want to thank his family, and I want to thank my family also. And all of you that came, thank you. You just don't know how glad you made me feel. And how my heart is still rejoicing. And my friend came by, my neighbors came, and they said, Miss Hunter, how you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to get down out of cloud 9. So I really had a wonderful time. And Ms. Luper, I want to say thank you.
Okay, well, you going up there and sell them chicken dinners.
Oh, yes. Don't worry.
Because I'm out
there get some chicken dinner because I am frying some chicken.
Okay, then. Thank you, Letty.
Okay, and bye now.
I've saved this part of the program because I wanted you to know that today at 11 o'clock, Oklahoma City will say goodbye to Mary Catherine Nancy Davis Spurlock. Mrs. Spurlock is well known in Oklahoma City. She is a dedicated member of the Garland family reunion. She was known as Nancy to her relatives and many of her friends. She's the president of the Garland family reunion. One realizes that her living most certainly has not been in vain. 1978, she was elected secretary of the Garland family, a family organization that has been in existence for 31 years. She took the reign of president and led the group of approximately 200 people through many successful celebrations, meeting and greeting one another, as well as tracing their family ties and roots. Although she is gone, her work will continue to live in the hearts of the family. Many times she made trips in and out of state just to represent the entire family and to lend a helping hand and encouragement. The family accepts the will of God and knowing that God gave them a great leader. Yesterday, though, Mrs. Lenora Carter died. It was quite interesting because on Thursday, the Woods Neighborhood Club met and was informed that Mrs. Leola Carter was in the hospital. You see, Mrs. Carter is well known in Oklahoma, 87 years old. She lived at 1632 Northeast to 47th Street in Oklahoma City and was a member of the Unity Baptist Church. You will know Mrs. Lenora Carter, and they say the tree is known by the fruits that it gives. Well, look at the fruits. Mrs. Lenora Carter is the mother of Richard Carter, Vernell Lucas from California, Claudia White, Vernita Hornbeck, a hard-working usher. And I can say this about all of Mrs. Carter's children: Ernestine Johnson, Doris Harris, Deborah Carter, Richard Carter of Los Angeles, and Lula Miles of Oklahoma City. Mrs. Carter's body is at Temple Funeral Home, and the funeral services are pending, and we ask you to watch the newspaper for the announcement. I have a very special, one of my children's here to make an announcement, and that is my own minister, Reverend Samuel Craig. Tell me about it, Sam.
Thank you, Ms. Luper, for this opportunity. You squeezed me in, and I really appreciate it. But I do want to take the opportunity to announce to the radio listeners that the Middale African Methodist Episcopal Church and the Women's Missionary Society, in conjunction with the Young People's Department, is sponsoring the 3rd annual Red and White Tea today. Now, this is not just your ordinary tea. They're having merchants, Marie's Arts and Crafts, Catherine's of Southwest, Catherine's of Women's Clothing. There are several vendors from Crossroads Mall, Eastern Oils, J. Jacobs, and The Limited from Crossroads Mall. And we just want to invite all of you out. There'll be a youth program. Youth will be modeling Roderica Washington, Chevette Watson, Jason Givens, Alicia Joseph, and several other of our young people will be modeling clothing that's for the young people. And I want to thank you again, Ms. Luper, for letting me announce that. The admission for this is $5, but once you get in there, you'll see that it's worth more than that. And we're inviting everyone listening to come out at 4509 Southeast 15th Street. That's the Huey Long Community Center in Dale City, Oklahoma. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very kindly. Mrs. Stevens, hello. Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
I'm Freddie Mae Stevens. I heard all that good news that you said about me, and I am 92 years old.
And still active.
And still active and still going. You are great. I love you.
I know you love me, Miss Stevens, and you know I love you. And Lola Greer loves you too.
Well, now we can list a lot of people.
Yes. Mrs. Stevens?
Yes?
I would like to just thank you.
Really?
I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being you. And I told your story because I want people to understand Black history, and to understand Black history is understanding you. Thank you so very kindly.
And thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Calvin, the world has been waiting. Tonight is a big night at Langston University. They will select Miss Langston University. And Hilario Mukes Jr. won Mr. Langston University. Congratulations to you grandmothers, Mrs. Ellis and Mrs. David Lee Hall, Hilario Mukes. And I was talking to the young people out there, and they say that's the most handsome young man they ever see. But anyway, you will get to see him tonight at Langston University. Calvin, you got to sing Happy Birthday.
Oh, I've got to sing it, Mom, because Pastor Elder Jackson called me and reminded me that today is a very special day for a member of his church. They had a celebration for her yesterday, but today is her birthday, and that's none other than Mrs. Esther C. Hunt, and this is her 100th birthday. So, Mom, I got to really go. So, Mrs. Hunt, this goes out to you, and to be real quick, because this is a birthday celebration that a lot of people look forward to. But here it comes from the heart, from the Weekend Singers. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. Hunt. And may you have many, so many more.
Calvin, one lady called and said for you to stick to your electrical work, your photography, and stop singing. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you that Wallace Johnson will be here, and Wallace is here, and he will be back again because Wallace came here to sing a song for all of you out in radio land. And don't forget, here's Wallace.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning. Let's sing, Wallace.
Oh, yes, ma'am. There is a balm in Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain. But then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. Don't ever feel discouraged, for Jesus is your friend. And if you lack full knowledge, he'll never refuse to lend. If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, you can tell the love for Jesus and say he died for all.
This is Clara Luper of the Clara Luper Radio Show, along with Calvin and Wallace will be back with us. I would like to say that we have a black policeman, and we can support him by staying away from crime, by showing that we deserve it. And we deserve the best because we are the best. Don't forget to sign up for the Soul Bazaar, Miss Black. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that whatever you've said about me, I just want you to know one thing. I do love you. Bye-bye.
This is AM